Hi guys, this is Zoha Javed, a Commonwealth Shared Scholar for MA Public Policy at the University of Nottingham for 1 year. And today I'm going to talk about IELTS and my experience with IELTS, what I found to be quite unfair with IELTS, and I also invite you all to share your views about IELTS and your IELTS experience in the comments section. So let's dig into it. I got a band of 8. So what's my problem with IELTS if I got a band of 8? Well, clap, clap, clap. But there are certain issues about IELTS that we should all talk about. And number one problem that I had with IELTS was that it was very expensive for me. And I'm still privileged in my country, Pakistan. And I know that there are many people who might not be able to afford IELTS even if they have good English or if they practice and afford the test. And the question is that it might be not expensive for them in pounds or in dollars. It's quite a small amount, but for us, when we apply the exchange rate, it's very expensive. And don't get me talking about exchange rate and how there is a whole international business economy and tax evasion systems that make our currency perform so poorly against pound or dollar. We will talk about that sometime later. But really, it's an expensive test. And the fact that every time you fail it and you have to apply for it again, you have to pay the fees again. It's like you're betting money on our ability to speak English, and that just doesn't sound very nice, does it? Well, it doesn't feel nice as well. I got it on my first try, so lucky for me, but the kind of tension and anxiety I went through, that this is my one chance, and if I fail it, I will have to pay the fees again. I was not afraid of failing. I was afraid of the fact that I will have to get that expense out once again. And trust me, I didn't have enough savings at that time. I'm just at the start of my career, so my father had to pay for it. So any chance of you for being independent and applying abroad goes right out of the picture because you simply cannot afford it unless you have a very good job. So that's my first criticism. It's very expensive and it's thus inaccessible to many eligible, deserving people. The second thing is that made me really angry is that I have very good English. I have been doing freelancing gigs for like 7 to 8 years. I've worked with international clients. I've earned like 70K per month. I used to back in 2020 and 2021. And the fact that despite all of that experience, my ability to write good academic English, my ability to perform so well, always getting 90 plus marks in English, I have to sit this test once again to prove that hello, I can speak good English, I can write good English, I can comprehend English, I do watch Netflix seasons and I somehow get them without the dubbed voice. It made me angry because the system is not fair for everyone. It does make sense that you have to make sure that these certain people entering our country or entering our universities will be able to navigate the system here if they know the English enough, if they know the language enough. That's fair. But what's not fair is that the system has this universal standard for everyone, but human beings out there with their different individual fingerprints are different, and their ability to speak English, comprehend it, and progress in it is also different. But somehow, this test, no, doesn't consider that. So that's the second thing, that you do not filter out people who really need to attend and sit this test. And if they need to sit this test, if there is another test that they make to filter out people, what will they make it inexpensive enough, affordable enough? And now the third point is irrelevant questions. So I'm a social science student, and if I'm getting in my listening or reading example, I'm getting something scientific related to physical sciences and all of that, hello, I don't know about barometer and fission reactions, and if I'm going to do test, and for the first time ever, I'm doing this test, and you give me complex questions about field of study that I'm not even going for, that I'm not even an expert in, well, that's again quite unfair, because if I'm a social science student, I should get social science questions, and that's it. And guys, now this point makes me emotional. Do you know that after 2 years, I won't be able to speak English? And I won't be able to understand English. I won't be able to comprehend English. I won't be able to write good academic English. And then I will have to sit the test again if I want to pursue more masters or anything, or I want to live in UK or something, which by the way, I don't want to. IELTS will expire in 2 years. This makes me so emotional. I'll just lose my ability to speak English. Now, IELTS justifies this by saying that, the proficiency quite kind of dims down in 2 years. So people should retake this test to apply for PR or furthermore or whatnot. But really, again, that's very unfair because for me in as social science student for 1 year, I'm only gonna get better and better at academic writing and academic English. So there you go. Once again, IELTS is not fair for everyone. And then lastly, conclusion. You have to see it from the point of view of people who were once colonized. And it's not quite pretty to grow up, see systems of, post-colonialism in bureaucracy in your schools, in this need to prove that you're good in English and whatnot, and then face these systems to go abroad. It's like you're putting money on our ability to speak English, and it's not quite accessible. You should have just ask us to pay once and then give us multiple tries or something. It's very inaccessible. And the fact that, you might criticize that why do people have to come to our countries and our universities? Well, you kind of monopolized it. And, the state that our countries are in today is because of international economy that is being set by what? Post-colonialism. We will talk about that later more. But what's more important right now today is that all of us just repeatedly, year after year, apply for IELTS, fail for IELTS. We're anxious about its fees and whatnot to pursue our international experience and our international dreams. But at the same time, someone's benefiting it from it so much. It's not fair for everyone. And it pains me to say this, that we still pursue these international standards and they might have a lot of research behind it and everything, but that system is unfair. And as a person, as a Pakistani, I still feel like it's another extension of post-colonialism, whereby you're putting money on my ability to speak English, and I didn't quite like it. Thank you. Follow for more, and we will discuss further. I might be wrong in some perspectives, but this was my experience. It would be great if you share your experience in the comment section. This reel got long, but well, it's been good.